Hi everyone, this is Rob Watson. I'm the module leader for TECH1002, Social Media and Technology. And in this short presentation, I'll just give you an idea about what we'll be covering in the 7th of our lectures. And the subject of the lecture is about how music has always been a social experience. I've produced some PowerPoint slides, which have got a lot of media clips and images, so I won't be sharing the PowerPoint slides. But what I will be doing is giving you a downloadable PDF of the notes that the lecture is based around, key issues and links and further reading that you can follow on from the lecture. And the main issue with the PDF is that you can download it and convert it as a Word document if you need to adapt it. So this is available via the DMU Commons Wiki, and just a reminder that it's wiki.our.dmu.ac.uk, and if you look for the TECH1002 section, and these will be there's a link in the workshop notes section for lecture 7. What we'll be covering is the idea about how music has been a social experience, really from kind of prehistory times. So that kind of we're going to take quite a scope, if you like. We're going to look at kind of ancient history and the kind of way man formed communities around sound and around shared experience of song, and how that was. I've got some examples of how kind of caves were used as a kind of technology to enhance the experience of music. And then we'll move on to looking at how music was used to relate ideas and tell stories. So whether that was kind of from generation to generation, or whether that was from one region of one region of Europe to another region of Europe. So how song and sounds and stories travel. Then what we'll do is we'll take it a bit further forward, and we'll look at the idea of how the printing press changed the nature of the way that we think about music and how we can share music. So the way that popular songs came to prominence in the 19th century, kind of musical songs, and how they could be played at home because it was possible to use movable type to print music and to share music. And then we'll look at the way that electronic broadcast media changed the nature of how we think about music. So the kind of radio, and how that kind of was able to take a performance from a band or an orchestra in one place and broadcast that to many people across a region or a country. And then we'll move it forward a bit more, and we'll think about how recorded music, so the rise of the disc, the shellac disc, the long playing disc, gave rise to things like the jukebox, and it gave rise to home music playback systems, so kind of record players, and the kind of pop chart culture that we still see today. But moving on from that, we can look at the way that music became a digital phenomenon as the rise of the CD and the MP3 is tied in with things like managing databases, and kind of a global database of music and content that you could rip that music and you could share it through emerging networks of file sharing networks like the kind of Pirate Bay and Napster, those kind of networks. So you could have access to lots of music as a kind of online and shared experience. So that kind of gives us a broad view. We kind of finish off with looking at the idea of the way that music is kind of a streamed culture now, so that you kind of sign up for Spotify or Apple Music and you kind of access a wide variety of different types of music and genres and tastes, which has kind of shifted our perspective on what we mean about shared experience of music. So there's a few videos that we'll look at. The notes have a kind of a set of links to different articles that I've found online, which hopefully illustrate these points. The reading for this to support this lecture is the Delwish and Henderson, the Participatory Cultures Handbook. It's chapter 10, and it's the chapter by Owen Gallagher. It's the chapter about the assault on creative culture, which is about the Creative Commons license system and how copyright is owned by media companies and media corporations, and that has a potential to restrict our shared sense of engagement with music and with culture, because a limited number of people own the right to commercially exploit songs or albums or kind of music videos, wherever it is, kind of shared content. Whereas the Creative Commons approach is to give things away freely and let people share and use them as they determine is in their own personal interests. So that's a really useful chapter to kind of read in advance if you can. There's also a television programme which is available via the Box of Broadcast system, which is the TV archive of programmes that the university subscribes to. And there's a link on the wiki. It's called The Sound of Song, which is a kind of history of the way different recording technologies have influenced the way that popular songs have emerged from the 19th century into the 20th century, and the kind of transitions and changes that technology made to the way that this our music culture is understood today. So the key themes are how music is technologically enabled as a shared experience, and how we make sense of our through music and with music we make sense of our social identity, which again is underpinned by the technology. So we'll go through this in the lecture, and bring your notebooks, bring your pens. We'll look at some key ideas. We've got some videos to have a look at and some background reading that will support it. So I'll see you at the lecture on Thursday morning.